All right. Thank you for staying with us. As we said earlier, it is the second year anniversary of the emergence of the administration of Governor Demola Adeleke, November 27th, exactly 2 years from today. Range of questions. The government have been rolling out the drums to say uh, they have done well in their own right, commissioning projects here and there. Many politicians, leaders have been here yesterday. Many of them were here. When I mean here, Osun State, to commission one project or the other. Now, a range of things we'll discuss. Let's start from the place of promise. Promise made, is that same promise kept? What are these promises? Health, infrastructure, education, sport, ease of doing business, economy, civil service, reforms. What has it been? How happy are the people right now? Were they happier 2 years ago or are they happier now? This morning we'll be speaking with, someone from here who had that same seat 2 years ago, wanted to be governor. And, he's here with us. He went to the ballot with the banner of the SDP then at the time. But then the people said otherwise. But he's here with us, not just as a public affairs analyst, but then as a critical stakeholder in the well being of the state. And he has never hidden whatever he feels should be the norm here. We have been joined by architect GOKE, OMIGBODUN. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Congratulations to Osun State government
Right.
and all the people, including myself, for this second year administration of the government of Governor Demola Adeleke.
Right.
And congratulations to the Rave FM team,
Thank you.
including myself,
Yeah.
for the 9th year anniversary
Right.
of Rave FM
That's right.
and the second year anniversary of Western Springs Television. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Now, a quick one. Um, uh, it's the second year anniversary of this government. Okay, I remember right here there was a debate. Many debates were held, in different places. You spoke your mind at the time when you wanted to be governor. You won the ballot to say these are your plans. This is what you wanted. The governor, right now, incumbent, Demola Adeleke, debated with the former governor, as well many other persons, to say this is the kind of Osun we want. Adegoke Itola, the minister right now, he was the governor then, wanted continuity. Ademola Adeleke wanted to come in, you wanted to be governor as well. All of you spoke eloquently about your plans for the state, but the people of Osun State settled for Ademola Adeleke as the second year anniversary of his government. He made different promises, and now, second year, this is the second year, 2 years into that administration. How will you rate, not just as somebody who ran the elections with him, but somebody who is there? You have your businesses there. You have always been on ground. What has it been? So I'm asking you these as a son of the soil, proper one. 2 years of this government. How will you rate them?
Well, I'll start from the premise that even when I was contesting to be governor of Osun 2 years ago,
Right.
And which evidently you can confirm from my manifesto, I said something and I still keep saying it. There is no governor that has ever been in Osun State, or actually that could ever be anywhere, that would leave the place exactly the same way he met it. And I alluded to all the achievements of the first governor, Isiaka Ademola Adeleke, definitely because I am a Democrat. I was careful to avoid making mention of the military interregnum, so to say, because they didn't even allow the first governor, Isiaka Adeleke, to complete his term before they came back and gave us some military administrators. And then I went on to talk about Governor Bisi Akande and his achievements. He built the government secretariat that we have right now and gave more stability to Osun State. well, let me say that I started with Governor Isiaka Adeleke, who first gave that stability and gave us a sense of being a state on our own and trying to start things from the scratch. And he was able to do a few things and make the psyche of the people accept that democracy was coming home before the military struck.
Right.
And after that was Akonde that I've mentioned, and after Governor Bisi Akonde, then came Governor Olagunsoyi Oyinlola.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, Governor Bisi Akonde had issues with the public servants. And one of the first things that Governor Oyinlola was able to do was to assuage whatever it was, because government is also about the people. Yeah. So if one was project-oriented and the other came and was a little bit more people-oriented, he was also welcome. And he even went on, was the one that established the Osun State University with all the campuses that it has right now. And he also did a few things in infrastructures with his OMIGBODUN network of roads into different local governments and into different communities. And after Governor Oyinlola came Governor Rauf Aregbesola. And I mean, on the physical landscape, you will still see all those schools that were built by Governor Rauf Aregbesola. You can say, oh, one of them collapsed, and that in fact, a few of them also have issues with maintenance right now, especially considering the fact that they got a foreign firm, which some of us professionals as architects and estate surveyors and valuers, we didn't like, you know, that he needed to bring people. I can't remember whether it was from Sweden or from Switzerland to be managing those things then. And they were still not well managed. But the truth is that they are still surviving today. And those buildings, when you drive through Osun State, you see them. And not only are they beautiful, ordinarily, they are serving, you know. And then came Governor Gboyega Adeleke. I mean, I'm sorry, Governor Gboyega Oyetola. And when Governor Gboyega Oyetola came, he also tried to improve on certain things that Governor Rauf Aregbesola would not be able to cope with. Whether you like it or not, the repayment of the half salaries of civil servants in Osun State started during the days of Governor Gboyega Oyetola. And I know that I will sound controversial now to the people of this government when I say that when he built the flyover, that first flyover, we thought, okay, just for its introduction of something that we never had before, that was okay, and it solved a few problems of that location, and its utility was appreciated. And I didn't, I said it was okay. I will still count that as one of the achievements of Governor Gboyega Oyetola. But where I said the people of this government find it controversial because they cannot understand the concept of marginal utility, and sometimes they do not want to listen to people who would praise you where you have done well and criticize you where you have not done well. They just want you to be clapping and clapping for them. This present Ademola Adeleke administration. And people like me cannot be intimidated with such. So I still maintain that the Gboyega Oyetola, no, it is not thus named, but the flyover built by Governor Gboyega Oyetola had its own measure of utility, but that marginal utility dropped. After that, we don't want any more flyovers in this state. We want more networks of roads. So having now dealt with that, with the achievement of Governor Gboyega Oyetola, now the real question that you asked me, this present administration has had also its own bunch of achievements. I marvel at the network of roads that are being done right now. At least I see those even around me in Osogbo. But I still maintain, and I will continue to maintain, that those roads should have just been roads without those flyovers, which, in the words of former President Muhammadu Buhari, warning all governors then, even before Governor Ademola Adeleke came into power, that enough of flyovers in this country. You governors are using flyovers to steal the resources of the people. Exact words. And then another governor now comes and starts building so many flyovers in Osun. That's my biggest quarrel with him. But all the other things that they are doing, and why I'm saying so is that this government is the luckiest government that I have seen, but not of Osun State alone. All governors right now are the luckiest set or batch of governors who, after the removal of the oil subsidy, now have multiples of whatever they were getting from the FAC, from Federal Allocation Committee. There is no state now. The list of the states will be getting at least 2.5 times. Some getting up to 3, 4, some up to 5 times what their predecessors in office were getting as monthly allocations. So there is no reason why there should not be the development that we have right now. So I commend the governor for applying some of the funds towards some of these infrastructures. But let me also correct an impression, because I also want them to prove otherwise. There were actually no promises made by the then Senator Ademola Adeleke. He didn't have a manifesto. So it was after he was sworn in that they came up with first a 6-point agenda, which was later trimmed into a 5-point agenda. We live in these states. I mean, I'm a development person, so I always look out for such things. And now that it's been trimmed to a 5-point agenda.
You are saying that with some authority that pre-election, Governor Ademola Adeleke never had a manifesto.
I have said it more than 1 million times. Let them still bring it out. Because if you ask me for mine now, I will bring it out.
Because the handouts of the government will always say they have a 5-point agenda.
But I am saying that that 6 points later trimmed to 5-point agenda came after he was sworn in. Did you, okay, you are a journalist, and sometimes we need to wave aside some of your ethics. Did you see a copy of the manifesto of GOKE OMIGBODUN when he wanted to be governor? And I ask you, did you see a manifesto of now present Governor Ademola Adeleke? No, answer the question now. These are issues. Because I was interested in everybody's manifesto. Because at the end of the day, it was not just about GOKE OMIGBODUN becoming governor. It's about good governance in Osun. And that is why, if you still, without sounding immodest, look around all of us that contested that election. How many of us are still manifestly speaking to the sustainable development of Osun State, giving kudos where it is due to the governor, and knocking him otherwise where we think he needs to do things better than they are? Where are the others? How many of us were in the race? One of us is governor now. Where are the others talking to sustainable development of Osun State? So I know what I'm talking about. I was interested in everybody's manifesto. I wanted to know, even I wanted to know, is there something I am missing out in mine that I can learn from others? And that's, in fact, I always had it in mind that the way I operated when I was chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Architects in Osun State. One or two people also wanted to be chairman with me. And so the moment I became chairman, what exactly did you want to do? I pleaded with one of them to be my vice chairman, and he agreed. And we did everything. So I got what was his idea of what the Institute of Architects in Osun State should be working on. I got all other people that contested into other offices. You wanted to be secretary, but you didn't make it. Okay, let me make you so and so that those ideas you wanted to put in as secretary, we can still work on it together. So that had always been my idea, that if you are about administration, you shouldn't even look at only your own manifesto alone. What is it? So that is why I am so sure of who had or didn't have a manifesto. The Labour Party candidate had a manifesto. Zenith Party candidate had a manifesto. I had a manifesto. Akin Ogunbiyi of I've forgotten the name of that party with yellow color. Accord had a manifesto, which was the manifesto I wrote for him 4 years before. Those were the only manifestos that people in that race had.
You are saying fairly well, because you gave kudos to say, yes, every administration will always do their bit.
Yes.
And the picture we have on our screen, that was at the BBC debate.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, and you talked about that. How many of your colleagues then are still speaking to issue, are still interested?
No, they may be interested, and we cannot go into their hearts.
Yeah.
But how many of them are manifestly interested? Look at that array.
Can we have it? Yeah.
Yes. How many of those people there?
Honorable Lasun Yusuf.
That's Lasun Yusuf. That's Akin Ogunbi. That's Ohiolei Itola. And that's GOKE OMIGBODUN. Okay. And the Adeleke'S is on the other end.
So looking at
other than the
now,
one that is in government right now, how many of those other people are still addressing issues and still perhaps very resident with us here in
Architect, let's...
So I only gave that premise so that you know that when I praise this government, it is what I believe they are doing right. But when we criticize them, that is when I get annoyed with them. They respect me. In fact, they express, we respect Architect OMIGBODUN when he praises them. But the moment Architect OMIGBODUN tries to criticize them, they say, he's a politician. That attitude they must do away with.
But fairly well, as you have equally praised other administrations before, Governor Adeleke'S on to say, they have done their bit, actually.
They are not
you laid the
precedence,
honestly, from the late Scorecard Adeleke. So, but talking about Governor Adeleke now, before we go into the
you mean Governor Ademola Adeleke?
Governor Ademola Adeleke, okay. Actually, before Evelyn will come in now, is fairly well in 2 years.
Yes,
you say they have done well.
I will say they have done well, but they have done well because they have had a windfall that their predecessor did not enjoy.
They could have
the allocations that have come into Osun State. In fact, I've always said it is multiples, and I've always guessed it will be about 3 times whatever.
Architect, if I may,
3 and 5 times.
Architect.
Yes. No, please let me complete this sentence.
There are people that have this argument that yes, the FAC allocation, the allocation to states might have doubled or tripled, but so also
about tripled actually.
Yes, but so
and
also
in some cases,
are the expenditures. The predecessors you're talking about now, if they spent 1 naira to get a bag of cement, let's talk about infrastructure now. At this time, this particular administration will be spending double or close to triple to buy a bag of cement. Very
beautiful argument, and the way I always want to extend the argument is, why is government thinking only about itself and not about the people they are governing? So if they know that the prices of things have gone up 3-4 times, why are they not giving the civil servants 3-4 times of what they were earning during the days of Boyega or Oyetola? Why are they still owing any half salary? Because the value of this money has dropped. So I am not against that argument, but they should extend that argument beyond that reasoning, not to also... That's why I laugh when people are saying, kudos, they want to pay 75,000. I just laugh. What is that 75,000 naira going to do in the life of the worker in Osun? Because very soon, those workers, and mark my word, in another 18 months, please invite me here so that we can discuss again. Whatever that would have been eroded and overtaken by more penury, and will still have to wait for some. That was why I was advocating that the public servants at all levels should have been asking for a minimum of 150,000 and stuck to their guns. Perhaps eventually they would get something like 90,000-100,000. Anybody being paid anything less than 90,000-100,000 naira now is not earning anything.
But one would say it's easy for you to say this because you are not in government. Because
no, I am.
Even the almighty Lagos is paying 85.
I'm saying all of those governors are not being sincere. In fact, I finished one program, and I will not be surprised if somebody calls me again today. I finished one program, and a good friend of mine in this government called me and said, "Hey, GOKE, you are always saying they should pay. Are you paying 150,000 in olive branches schools. That's why I told you that I also am involved.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I am not paying 150,000 naira in olive branches schools because I cannot receive fees beyond what you are giving. And what I maintain that all the governors are doing right now, it's not about the governor of Osun alone, honestly. What all the governors are doing right now is raking up funds that they will use for the next election. So all of the money that should actually, it's not about Osun State alone, stimulate local economies, okay, to make sure that things are better for the people at the grassroots in all states. And that's why federal government will still keep talking, go and ask your state governors what they are doing with the money. But you see, there is a way I always have an answer for even the federal government. I say, yes, we should ask the governors what they are doing with the money, but even federal government is taking 50-something% of.
So you think with what Osun has right now,
is coming to each state,
with what is coming to Osun State right now,
yes.
let's be specific with Osun State. You think the administration of Governor Adeleke will have done more than 75,000?
Number one, they should have cleared all of the backlog of half salaries.
They are doing that.
No, they should have completely cleared, because whatever that money is now has been reduced to about 1/5 its value when it was owed.
Is that what you will have done? Is that what you will have done?
Definitely, with the new level of income into the state, that is the first thing I would have done. And I'm saying so because I recognize I also have people amongst these public servants, and I know how many of my own cousins have died. You know, I used to have a particular cousin that would always come all the way from Ife. We would have lunch together. But what have you come to do? It is still this our backlog of pension and whatever until the man died. You know, why wasn't that backlog paid? And what, again, my quarrel with this administration is that when the money was coming, instead of openly admitting, there's a way they cover up things. I don't like that. Instead of openly admitting to the people that we are having an infrastructure funding which will be out of all the funds that will now be coming to us on account of the removal of oil subsidy, and you are going to enjoy a good life. That would have been nice.
Right,
but they were first doing like local magicians.
Architect, we have
something.
Because we're pressed
we
for
don't know
time.
when the money, don't worry about where the money will be coming.
If I may, please,
you know,
Architect.
in Yoruba parlance, we call that pidon.
Let's look at the
But we all know where the money eventually came from.
Let's quickly look at the 5-point agenda, because we have less than 4 minutes to go at this time. Yes.
Okay.
You have spoken to the welfare of workers and pensioners, because that was one of the points in the 5-point agenda. He says that he is going to ensure the first line chart for workers' welfare, salaries, gratuities, and pensions. Do you think he is doing well with that?
I've told you he hasn't done too badly, but he could do better because he has enough resources to actually have done better. The best thing that he can do right now, before this year runs out, let all backlog of
declared
be paid.
Okay.
I mean, because the money has been devalued. You are claiming that the money has been devalued for you as governor to buy cement, to do your flyovers. So you don't think that the money has also been devalued for the family of that my cousin that died to do anything?
Okay. Now, boosting state economy by business partnering and support for business class. Osun money serving Osun people through homegrown infrastructure policy.
Well, I think they are not doing too badly on that, because I see a lot of the roads, and I see the people.
But you mentioned that the flyovers are not necessary.
No. I've told you that the roads are good. And they could just have had many more roads rather than the flyover.
You don't think Gov Adeleke'S is looking at a bigger picture in the future?
What bigger picture are you looking at? You first build an economy to attract that bigger picture.
Right.
I mean, you don't have any economy. You are building. How many vehicles are in Osun State right now? All of the vehicles in Osun State, passing through all of the roads in Osun State, are not as many, according to statistics that I've checked, as the number of vehicles that pass through Awolowo Road in Nikeja every day. And yet, do you see any flyover there? They only have roundabouts and so many side roads into, I've forgotten the names of those streets now. I left Lagos quite a while now. And so there are so many outlets that you can get into without getting to the roundabout. That's what we should have done here. So I commend them for the roads that they are doing. But my take is that no more flyover. And if we don't continue to hammer that, because I was told that, because when I was talking about flyover, they said when the people of Ife saw that they were building flyovers in Osogbo, they went to meet the governor and they asked for and I said, hey, if we are not careful, a government that didn't have a manifesto and is only being reactive, and they came from Ife and said we want flyover, and instead of giving them electricity at Garage Ohiolei, you are giving them flyover in Ife. Very soon, then people of Iragbiji will ask for flyover, people of Igbajo will ask, and then we will just have flyovers and no sustainable economy to back all of the flyovers.
All right, the third point is people-focused social policy through skill-based education, affordable healthcare, state security, and social security support.
I think they're also doing a few things in that respect, honestly, but nobody can be perfect. Nobody can get it all.
Right.
Because, for instance, I will still expect, in this case too, that you are talking of security. People are still not secure enough to go to the farms. I know we still talk of agro-based industrialization, which is the last point. You know, so we don't yet have the security. Talking of education,
but when
primary and second, just wait.
When we say Osun is relatively safe, why can't you? Is there any part of this state that people can go to farm?
Yes, there are many parts of the state that people cannot yet go to the farm.
Because of roads or insecurity?
No, it's more of insecurity. That's the truth of the matter. And you yourself know that there are, even as recently as about 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, I still met an Oba who wore a face cap, you know. He had been doing that for a while, and I said, Kabiesi, the town should be safe enough for you now to come and let people know that. He said no. When he's coming from Ijesha land, he wears face cap, jeans, and t-shirt, so that nobody can know he's a traditional. Nobody wants to be kidnapped. That's the truth of the matter. So people are being very, very careful about what they do, and I maintain that what they should do now. I'm glad when I listened to the governor's speech today that he still spoke again about wanting to have private partnership on electricity. But if I were in his shoes, I would first have one plant, government owned, that will take care of government facilities in the state capital, and let a few members of the community also tap from that. It is that will be like a regulatory program to know what others will now be doing when they also come in, because we will know where the shoe pinches with the little one that the state is running, and the state will be able to use that for its own immediate facilities.
We have to run now, but on a scale of 1 to 100, if you were to score the Ademola Adeleke for their efforts in the past 2 years, what will it be for you?
I will still give him 50%, honestly.
That's average.
That's a pass mark. That's a pass mark. Why do people always...
All right,
and you know,
that's a pass
someone
mark.
will say, if at...
and he's just 50% into his tenure too. I mean, so it's in this part of the world. I know that in America too, people want to score 98%, 100%. A 50% pass mark is not a bad pass mark.
So he's doing well.
He's not doing badly. He can do better. I've always praised him in those areas where he's doing well.
You know, your party
is doing well, but can do better.
2 years ago, you wanted to be governor, and the people chose Ademola Adeleke. 2026 is almost here. Do you still have that?
No, I'm not likely to come out now because we have our various sentiments in Osun State, West Local. Okay. I came out then because I saw that Governor Gboyega Oyetola still wanted to have an extension of whatever we
So as it is, you are done?
For the governorship in this coming tenure,
2026,
I am likely to support somebody from the West.
And who would that be?
That will be determined by so many factors.
Irrespective of the party?
Oh, irrespective of the party for now, because I am a member of Afenifere.
We'll speak to
and the Afenifere would always determine so many things. I supported Peter Obi for the presidency the other time.
We have to go.
Because Afenifere said we should support
we have to run. And you know, talking about...
And I should also let you know that Afenifere asked me to contest on the platform of the party floated by Afenifere, the Social Development...
Social Democratic Party.
Social Democratic Party.
Very well.
That's why
as you said, Afenifere, I remember what former Governor Ohiolei said. when the talk of the Afenifere thing was very loud, who said, meaning nobody. But I want to sincerely thank you, OMIGBODUN, and it's about the betterment of the state, the state of the living spring.
Yes.
Thank you, Architect GOKE OMIGBODUN has been with us. Thank you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, thank you so much. I
Evelyn,
appreciate you bringing me here.
We should go. Thank you for being a part of our world. We'll make a return tomorrow for another edition. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei.
All right, I'm Femi Ojo. Is my name. We make a return tomorrow, God willing. Bye.